what kind of bhava, that is emotion or understanding, should be there while doing the japa. So you do the japa, but while doing, what should you contemplate on? So people can share their views, you can unmute and talk.
Swam Sharanamappa.
Yes.
Good morning, Hemant Bhargav Swami.
गुड मॉर्निंग भास्कर जी. मंत्र जप करते वक्त मन में क्या भाव होना चाहिए?
माइंड क्लियर रहना चाहिए. एंड मैं तो देवता कुछ नमः शिवाय, ओम स्वामी शरणमयप्पा कुछ माइंड में रिपीट कर लेता हूँ और कुछ भी आउट थिंकिंग्स माइंड में नहीं आने देता हूँ मैं.
सिर्फ उस मंत्र के साउंड पे ध्यान देते हैं.
यस.
वंडरफुल. एनीबडी एल्स, एनी अदर व्यूज? अनूप जी.
यस, ड्यूरिंग द जब माइंड में कुछ थॉट्स तो आते रहते हैं, तो वी हैव टू just observe it without getting attached to it, and also we should surrender, have a bhav of surrender to the deity or whatever mantra you are, like Shiva, so you should visualize about Shiva and with surrender. That is the bhav we should have. And if the thoughts are coming, you just observe it and ignore it.
So Anup ji is very clear about it. He says you have to imagine the image of your deity and feel that you are surrendering to that deity. Beautiful. Anybody else? Any other view?
सर अभय.
हा, अभय जी बोला. मंत्र जपताना आपल्या मनात कसले भाव असायला पाहिजे?
शुद्ध भाव आणि अंतःकरणातून कुठलाही विचार न करता फक्त एकाग्र चित्ताने आपण जर नामस्मरण करत राहिलो तर त्याचं फळ मिळतं आणि त्याचा फायदाही होत असतो.
शुद्ध भाव, एकांत चित्त. सो
अंतःकरणातून,
मनातून. अभय जी says that you should be just one pointed on the mantra, not allowing any other thought to enter, and with this you get the fruit of the mantra japa. Wonderful. Anybody else? So we see here, that Patanjali in the first chapter, 28th sutra, says tad japaha tadarth bhavanam. That japa, that mantra should be repeated with the meaning and feeling. What is that meaning and feeling that should be associated with the japa? So there are two things. One is tadartham and there is bhavanam. So you have to understand the meaning of it, and then you have to focus on the feeling that it generates, or associate a feeling with it. Then Patanjali says, tasya vachakaha pranavaha. Means he's talking about Om, and he says that the word denotes God or Ishvara. So when you say Ishvara, if the Om, say, take the example of Om, tasya vachakaha pranavaha. Om denotes Ishvara. So besides being easier to pronounce, it is very practical to use whenever one wishes to concentrate on Ishvara. Now, the first is Artham. So what is the meaning of Ishvara? That we have to understand. So Ishvara has been defined in Patanjali Yoga Sutra also and in Bhagavad Gita also. So we see here, what is the definition of Ishvara by Patanjali? Klesh, karma, vipak, ashaya, aparamrishtaha, purusha, visheshaha, Ishvara. He says that creative source, a particular consciousness that is unaffected by colorings of emotions, that is raga and dvesha, attachment and aversion, and actions colored by such emotions, or results of those actions that happen when latent impressions steer and cause those actions. So there is no klesha, there is no attachment and aversion, and there is no karma that is colored by those kleshas, and therefore there is no karma phala. That kind of a special or a particular kind of a consciousness is Purusha. That Purusha is Ishvara. So how beautiful, Patanjali says that if, that consciousness is able to dawn even in our own heart, we are Ishvara. So that way he puts it very, very clinical definition of Ishvara. Similar kind of definition we also see in Bhagavad Gita. 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita is considered as the very essence of Bhagavad Gita. People say, if you cannot read Upanishads, read Bhagavad Gita. People say, if you cannot read whole Bhagavad Gita, read just the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. People say, if you cannot read the whole 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, read 15.17. Sufficient. The very essence. This is a very, very beautiful shloka that Krishna tells Arjuna. Uttamaha purushastvanyaha paramatmetyudahrataha yo lokatrayam avishya bibhartyavyaya ishvaraha. So, in 15th chapter, Krishna begins by describing the Purushas. He says that one Purusha is the manifest, that is the Prakriti. So all the Jada that you see, the 29 elements, 5 basic elements, 5 senses, 5 organs of actions, 5 pranas, and the Atah Karan Chatushtya, that is Mana, Buddhi, Chitta, and Ahankara. Panch Mahabhut, Panch Jnanendriyas, Panch Karmendriyas, Panch Pranas, and 4 Mana, Buddhi, Chitta, and Ahankara. If you consider all of them, add Panchakosha, then it becomes a 29 element existence. All this belongs to Prakriti. Prakriti is of the nature of not having a self shine, it does not have its own abha. It reflects the Chaitanya of the Purusha. Then he says, then there is unmanifest existence. That he says the para, and then he says the apara prakriti. That is unmanifest is even subtle, which is not perceived by the senses. It is beyond pancha koshas, beyond pancha pranas, beyond jnanendriyas, karmendriyas, and beyond mana, buddhi, chitta, and ahankara. That is the unmanifest form of the existence. Very subtle. And the ratio of the manifest is to unmanifest is, we can say, 1:99. How do we know that? Scientists know that. The whole fundamental of this existence that we understand is an atom. Now, within an atom, if you try to understand how much is the manifest part and how much is the empty space, the ratio is 1:99. In an atom, only one part out of 100 is manifest as whatever we understand as a particle, as a wave, whatever, that is just 1%. 99% of an atom is empty space, unmanifest. So by that way, atom being the very basis of existence that we understand, The manifest aspect of existence is 1%. 99% of existence is unmanifest. When we chant Om Purnamada Adah Purnamidam, so what we are saying is that this, what we see, the manifest, is complete and full. But then it has come from the unmanifest, the 99%. That is also full. Purnamadaha Purnam Idam Purnat Purnam Udachyate. From that Purna, the unmanifest Purna only, this Purna, the manifest Purna has come. Purnasya Purnam Adaya. Even if you remove the manifest, which is just 1%, like a dream, it has come up. Purnam eva vashishyate. Always the unmanifest is complete and full, unaffected. After describing all this in the initial 16 shloka in 15th chapter, Krishna brings a different dimension. Says, Uttamahastu Purushastvanyaha. But the Purusha that I am talking to you about, the one which is referred to as the Paramatman, is even beyond the unmanifest. One is the manifest, one is the unmanifest, para and apara. But this Purusha is beyond both, referred to as the Param Atman. Uttamahastu Purushastvanyaha Paramatmetyudaharitaha Yo Lokatrayamavishya. This is encompassing all the three lokas, subtler than the subtlest that you can understand. Not even an inch, not even a dot is there where this Purusha is not engulfing these three lokas. Everywhere, this subtle Purusha, the Uttama Purusha, is present. Yo Lokatrayam Avishya. Completely in and out, engulfing it. Bibhartyavyaya Ishvaraha. Unchanging, avyaya. It does not move, does not change, stable, untouched, but still the very subtle controller of the manifest, of the unmanifest. This Paramatman is Ishvara. So, when you chant Om, you have to go beyond the manifest. You have to go beyond the unmanifest. And you have to become one with the Uttama Purusha. Om. When you chant that, Sarva Dvarani Sanyamya. And what is the position you do that? Close all the sense organs. Manoridi Niruddhaja. The mind goes into the depth of the heart. Murdhanya Dhayat Manaha. The prana moves towards the head region. And you get into the state of yogic concentration. The pranic movement and all happen automatically, as you try to touch the Ishvara. So the whole bhava, when you chant, is that you are touching the Ishvara. You are merging with the Ishvara. And when you do this, the way that it is explained during the time of death, Prayana kale manasa chalena bhaktya yukto yoga balena chaiva भ्रुवोर्मध्ये प्राणमावेश्य सम्यक् सतं परं पुरुषमुपैति दिव्यम्. Very beautiful sutra. If this japa has been the very center of your life, if day in and day out, with each and every breath, you have been getting into the bhakti through the japa and developing that yogic power through the japa, then in the last moments of your death also, this japa will come to your rescue. It will make your mind come into an unwavering concentration. It will become a tool to gather all the bhakti that you have done throughout your life. It will become the tool where you will concentrate all the power that you have got within you because of repeated chanting of this japa. And naturally, when the pranas throughout the body move to leave the body, because of your bhakti and yoga bala, the prana will move upwards and gather naturally itself between the eyebrows. And you, with your yoga bala and bhakti, will be able to leave your prana through the eyebrows. And when that happens, be sure that you are one with the Uttama Purusha, the Nirvana. So this is the power of mantra japa. People say it is very difficult for us, the thoughts interfere, the thoughts of attachment, raga, the thoughts of aversion, the dvesha keep coming. Yes, they will keep coming, but as my student answered in the last session, you have to generate the opposite vibration by chanting the japa. So this does the noise cancellation of the raga and dvesha, because these are neutral mantras, bringing a feeling of devotion, bhakti, and transcendental essence of existence. So they cancel out these dveshas. And with this kind of japa, if continued separately as a practice, do 1,000 times. And after that, continue doing it whenever you are free. It should become your default functioning of the mind. Currently, the default functioning is raga and dvesha, attachment and aversion, the thoughts associated with that. But with your sadhana, it requires lots and lots of yoga bala, dear friends. You will not be able to overcome raga, dvesha just like that, reading few shlokas, doing some pranayama. No. It requires immense bala, immense power, strength to transcend the forces of attachment and aversion. And that power in the present times can only come by the power that you develop by years and years and years of unwavering japa. So my request to all of you is start getting into the sadhana of japa. Even if you do not feel that kind of a bhakti, even if your mental surface is still quite hard, with the drops of japa, water drops falling on it, slowly, 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 it will become soft. Bhakti is one of the greatest gift or prayer that we can ask from the God. Keep praying for a bhakti and keep on chanting japa. So with this bhava, that the mantra takes you to the Ishvara. If you have a Ishta Devata, if you find it difficult to imagine Ishvara in that essence which is untouched, beyond manifest and unmanifest, omnipresent, controller of everything. If you can't imagine that, then a very simple way of developing that bhava is, the text say that then you can bring your Ishta Devata and pray to the Ishta Devata for that bhakti in front of your closed eyes. The best aspect or the image to bring into the mind is the feet of your Ishta Devata. And while doing japa, imagine that you have kept your feet, your head on the feet of your Ishta Devata, and with in that position, in that asana, in that bhava, you are doing the japa. They say if you cannot contemplate or imagine God, bring into your mind someone whom you trust or have shraddha that that fellow is able to imagine God. So people do the japa focusing on their guru, the feet of their guru, or they have a Ishta Devata, then they focus on the feet of Ishta Devata and they imagine that their head is kept on the feet, and with that bhava, let the japa continue. Or if you directly can connect to Ishvara, then with this transcendental aspect of Ishvara, which is there residing in the very depth of your heart also, because he is omnipresent in your own essence, in your heart, you are touching the Ishvara. So whatever that suits you, dear friends, please contemplate on these thoughts and do the japa accordingly. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hemant Swami, one
Yes.
suggestion from me.
Yes.
This Ashtadasha Shatanama and Sahasranama also will improve our concentration on God.
Yes, but as I said in the last session, जैसे मैंने last class में कहा था, mantra is like a seed. You know, you have to find out one mantra, because in the last moment of your life, you will not be able to chant 1,000 names. You will require only one name. इसलिए हमें जीवन के आखिरी पल में जो हमारे मन में अपने आप आ जाए, ऐसा एक ही मंत्र होना चाहिए. हम उस आखिरी समय में 1000 नाम याद नहीं रख पाएंगे, हमें एक ही नाम याद आएगा. महात्मा गांधी को हे राम याद आया, क्योंकि उन्होंने पूरे जीवन राम का नाम लिया. ऐसे ही हमारा एक ही मंत्र होना चाहिए. So for this I really salute Mahatma Gandhi. The way he left his body is exactly how Bhagavad Gita describes, and he is really, that is why he is the only Mahatma, Mahatma, who joined the Paramatma. Thank you very much. Namaste.
Yes.
Hemant ji?